that are gonna make you successful in getting those straight A's. Those real secrets that people don't share with you guys. Alright, so if you are looking to get straight A's in your prerequisite courses, I am your girl. We're gonna cut to the chase. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Clarissa Victoria. Today's video is basically just about how I got straight A's in all my prerequisite classes. The courses that I am talking about here are human anatomy, physiology, microbiology, as well as the chemistry courses that you need to be taking in order to apply to a nursing program, and also the bio classes that aren't prerequisites but are necessary in order to get into human anatomy and physiology. So I got you guys covered, and we're gonna get on with these tips. Tip number 1. Go to ratemyprofessor.com. Students leave reviews based on the teacher's teaching style and whether or not they enjoyed the course. Rate My Professor also has students sharing their experience with the exams that they have taken. So it's your responsibility as a student to go online and go to Rate My Professor, because this is going to be beneficial towards your success. Okay, so how Rate My Professor was helpful to me, it allowed me to eliminate any bad reviewed professors. Bad reviewed professors means that these professors were very difficult. They, gave extreme amounts of homework that was not necessary, as opposed to taking a different professor because you used Rate My Professor. There is professors that don't teach the best and ultimately don't really care about student success. They really just want to make it difficult on students. But then on the brighter side of things, you have professors who actually want to see you succeed and want to see you win and are kind and are nice and are flexible, and you could see these professors, the difference in professors, on ratemyprofessor.com. Tip number 2. This is extremely crucial. I need you guys to invest in a planner. Being organized is crucial in college. I promise you guys, being organized is gonna save you so much stress and time. Having a planner allows you to stay on top of assignments, exam due dates, study group dates. Anything that you need, you can write in that planner, the time and the date, because there is deadlines that you don't want to miss as a pre-interested nursing student. Also, by having a planner, you're able to plan your week in advance. For example, in your planner, you can write Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to take care of chapter 1. Okay, Wednesday and Thursday, I'm gonna do chapters 2 and 3. And so it just allows you to write down physically what you need to take care of, because this is gonna help you in the long run. I loved having a planner in college. It definitely helped me. I made it very cute. I used colors, I highlighted. So definitely invest in a planner. When I used the planner, I basically copied everything that was on my syllabus that was given to me by my professor, and I put all the assignment dates and the exam dates. I moved those assignments that were on that paper into my planner. So every day I would look and see, okay, what do I have upcoming? What do I need to prep for? What do I need to get ready for? What should I be studying? I didn't wait until the last minute, because I had my planner holding me accountable for the days that I must study, because I did have an exam coming up and I knew that that exam can make or break my A. So I took my exam dates extremely serious, and I would always prepare 2 weeks in advance. I was studying every single day up until that exam 2 weeks in advance, and I saw it physically. So seeing it physically is more meaningful than just hearing your teacher say, oh, you have an exam in 2 weeks, but you have a physical planner that's telling you, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have a certain chapter you need to master. So that's exactly why I think having a planner is extremely crucial, you guys. All right, you guys, so tip number 3, I basically printed out all my lecture as well as my lab notes in color. I printed every single one out. So hopefully your professor posts their notes online. If they don't, you should just send them an email, professional email, and ask them if they could please post their slides online. You are basically able to review and see what you're going to learn, and then once you're in that class the next day, once you're in the lecture class, you can ask your professor all the questions you had, and you're already one step ahead of the game than all the other students. And nursing is extremely competitive, you guys, and I know know you can do this. So make sure you print out those notes and you have them right in front of you physically. And I wasn't kidding you guys when I said that I printed out all my lecture notes.
I know, it's so much.
This actually was for my human anatomy course. So step number 4, we are taught to take notes with the teacher, right? Like when the teacher has the slides up or the lecture notes up, we're taught that we have to write while the teacher is sharing the slide, like right on the spot. I did not do that and I still got straight A's. I'm gonna share with you guys a tactic that worked for me. So basically, this is gonna sound crazy, but I did not take notes in class while the teacher was explaining them because I wanted to listen. I wanted to hear, I wanted to see the visuals that she or he was showing to me at the time, because it allowed me to learn and understand in class. And I previously, like I mentioned, tip number 3, we already printed out those notes. So the day beforehand, we're already highlighting, we're reviewing, we're putting our questions on the lecture notes that we printed out. So then in class, the next day when I was in class, I could just truly focus and be like, okay, this makes sense to me now, or this didn't make sense to me, so I'm gonna ask the teacher. So it's just basically about being ahead and using your time wisely. So as I'm in class, instead of just writing down and trying to listen at the same time and multitasking,
my brain doesn't work like that, so I could not do that. Like, it was going in one ear and then out the other.
Because I'm writing, I'm trying to write and keep up with the teacher, and sometimes my professors would go really fast. So I would just sit in class and listen. I would listen to what my teacher was saying and right on the spot. If I didn't understand something,
I would raise my hand and ask a question.
Because I had the time to do that, because I wasn't sitting there busy writing, trying to catch up with the teacher and not miss the slides. Tip number 5. If your teacher gives you a study guide, you better do it. Do that study guide, okay? And you have to prepare for these science courses. For me, at least, I prepared 2 weeks in advance. But mainly for the study guides, my professor would just make the study guides based off the lecture notes. So I would highly suggest just focusing on the lecture notes. But if you don't understand something, there's always YouTube. There is always your textbook. There is always classmates that you can ask questions to. And do not be afraid to send your professor an email, and we're gonna get on to the next tips where I talk about that as well. So like I said, study 2 weeks in advance for those exams for step 5. What did I do to study for my exam? What I did for human anatomy and physiology, as well as my chemistry courses, what I could recall is the way my brain works, and everybody's completely different, is I just would put the information on a Google Doc and complete the study guide, then transfer it to Quizlet and make Quizlet questions, and sometimes I would even add images onto the Quizlet as well. And yes, you want to study 2 weeks in advance for these science courses. Please do not procrastinate. It is not worth it. Even if you take 4 to 6 hours out of your day to study, it's gonna help you in the long run. And I know sometimes you may feel like giving up, but just keep pushing, because that reward in the end is definitely gonna be worth it, you guys. Tip number 6, draw, color markers, color pencils, anything to, you know, get your brain to recognize and memorize these organs, these tissues, these body parts, these muscles. I actually went ahead and also bought a coloring book. This is what I use, and I just put it in here. Basically, in this book, I'm gonna show you guys one little portion of it. I am not the best drawer, but I do like to color. So having a coloring book was extremely helpful. The skeletal system. So here we have just like a drawing. You see, so it provides you with the drawing and you just color. It has basically all the systems: digestive, integumentary, and it was never able to say that.
Integumentary.
Digestive system. They also have the central nervous system, the muscular system, skeletal system, appendicular system. This was extremely helpful in my human anatomy and physiology class. So I also invested in a whiteboard as well as some markers. I have a lot more markers, but I just couldn't find them. The reason as to why I have a whiteboard is because in lab, you're actually gonna have to write down the muscle names, the tissue names, the skeletal system names, the digestive system names. So there's a lot of names and processes you're gonna have to know. For my courses that I took, I had to have the correct exact spelling. So what this allowed me to do with the whiteboard was constantly rewrite the word, erase it, constantly rewrite the word, and then erase it. And if I got the word wrong, I would just keep writing it until I got it right, the spelling on point 100, because even deducting a little bit of points, like even if it's 1 or 2, those points can still add up if you're making spelling errors.
Tip number 7 is form study groups.
3 minds is definitely better than 1. Get people's numbers, so the person to the left of you, the person to the right of you, and the person in back of you. So make sure you're getting numbers, any type of contact. Another reason why it's so important to have study groups is because repeating information and teaching others actually allows for the information to stay stuck with you longer. It's honestly just more motivating to study with others, and it's actually really fun, and I think that we're able to learn more when we get together as a group. So don't be afraid, get out of your comfort zone and reach out to the person next to you, because everybody really truly just wants to succeed just as bad as you do as a pre-interested nursing student. Tip number 8 is crucial. This is what I did, and it definitely helped me 110%. And it's a lot to ask for, but if you really want that A, you guys, you're gonna make sacrifices. So I went ahead and deleted my social medias for a very long time. I wanted to truly focus on my education, so I did delete my social media. And I tried my best to stay off of it. Of course, I went on it here and there, but I ultimately did not have a social media. It definitely helped me focus on my mental health as well as my education, and it really helped me study a lot more and just focus on the books. When you are tempted to go on that phone, you better tell yourself,
This exam is literally only like an hour and a half maybe of my day. I need to sacrifice. I need to not go on my phone because this can make or break my future career.
That's what I would tell myself. And yes, it's a little extreme, but I really wanted it extremely bad. So that's what I did. Tip number 10, you guys. Tip number 10 is to record your lectures, of course with your professor's permission. So when you're prepping for that exam, you can listen to maybe something that you missed out on and you didn't really truly understand, or your brain didn't really absorb it in class. You can go back to that lecture and you could see and understand the concept that you probably didn't understand at the time. So make sure you record those lectures, you guys, because you can always go back and
Just listen to your
lectures as well. So these are a few tips that I would recommend when it comes to studying, and these are some strategies that I use to obtain the information a lot longer in my mind. So basically, use analogies. They stick with you better, so make personal connections with your material that you have in front of you. Also, everything that you read, say it out loud. Don't just read it in your head. Talk to your kitty, talk to your doggy, educate them. You know, saying things out loud and educating others really does help for information to stay with us longer. And if you don't have a kitty, if you don't have a pet, you're totally fine. You know who you could talk to? You could talk to the wall. In addition, you want to make personal life connections with the material that you're reading. It's really going to help the information stay with you longer. Another study tip, do not try and memorize with these science courses. It's going to be extremely difficult to just read and then try to keep it in your brain. At least for me, I know there's people that can do that, but personally I cannot do that. So don't just retype your notes, especially in these science courses. You can do that. It could be an extra push and a help, but when it comes to truly studying, just retyping the notes one time is not going to be beneficial for you when you're taking the exam, because a lot of these questions are a lot more in depth and you have to know the concept in order to apply it to the question on the exam. So make sure you're not just retyping the notes, because that's not going to be helpful. Making personal connections is a lot more beneficial, as well as teaching others, because it's going to stick with you longer. Okay, I honestly forgot what tip we're on, but tip number, don't procrastinate, especially in these science courses. You're only going to stress yourself out. So like I mentioned, having that planner and holding yourself accountable to these deadlines and the dates that you have to study is extremely important as a pre-interested nursing student. You want to make sure that you're looking at those dates in advance in your planner so that you aren't stressed out and you aren't working last minute. Being a pre-interested nursing student is not easy and it's extremely stressful, so having this planner and not procrastinating is going to make you feel a lot better as a student. Tip number, make sure you guys go on YouTube, because there is animation videos that will explain to you in depth, sometimes even better than the professor. So it's just about going out of your way to go on YouTube, looking into your textbook. If you don't understand something, you truly have to take the initiative to do it yourself and look for what you want to find. And we just have to be the leader in our education, and we have to look for resources. Khan Academy, you can use YouTube, that's number one for me. Also finding textbooks online or even your own textbook.
Because it's not easy, but we can definitely do it and we will definitely make it through this.
Also, YouTube does provide models online of like the human anatomy, so having these models shown to you is going to be extremely helpful because sometimes we don't always have access to models, and models are very expensive, but YouTube is always available to show you models. Make sure you go to those open office hours when you can actually see the models in person and you can ask additional questions. You definitely do need to sacrifice for your education. You have to definitely go out of your way to attend these open labs and to go on YouTube and look for these animation videos and to go over your textbook one more time, because this is ultimately all for you, and it's just about who's going to go above and beyond and who's not, and those are the strong ones that are going to make it out. And I definitely believe that you will be the strong one to make it out with these tips and these strategies that I'm showing you guys. I was a successful student and I do have straight A's currently as a pre-interested nursing student. Okay, another tip I have is do not be afraid to ask questions, you guys. I can't tell you the amount of times that students, like my classmates, would come up to me and tell me,
oh my god, I'm so happy that you asked that question because I was confused on the same thing.
But honestly, I tell myself,
this is for me, this is my education, and I pay for it, and I have this question, and I'm just gonna ask it. I'm not gonna be shy. It doesn't make me dumb.
It makes me be the student who wants to learn and actually want to understand the concept, and I'm actually helping other students as well. So ask questions, you guys. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. It's ultimately going to help you in the long run as a student. So my last tip is to keep in contact with your teachers through email. So keep in contact with your teachers. It shows teachers that you care, it shows teachers that you value your education, and it shows that you're a hardworking student who really wants to get help and isn't afraid to ask for it.
So, hello Professor Blank, my name is Blank. I am emailing you in regards to blah 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 blah, and then you would say, I look forward to your email, and then you would sign off with kind regards and your name.
My professors were all extremely understanding because I would email them a lot, and I would, you know, just update them on how I was doing in the class, and if I needed help with anything, I would definitely just reach out to them. It really just shows that you care as a student, and they notice that and they see that, and that could definitely help you in the end. Alrighty, you guys, that is all for my tips. I also want to go ahead and just share with you guys something. It is going to be hard sometimes, and there was many nights where I felt like wanting to give up. Nursing is very competitive, but I can tell you one thing for sure is that you can do it and it's not impossible. And don't listen to the people that say, oh, the programs are so impacted, like, you know, they make you second guess whether or not you want to be a nurse or not. You can do it. Believe in yourself, because I wasn't always the smartest kid. In high school, I was not the smartest. I went from having like a 3.0 GPA in high school to having a 4.0 in college. So your past habits aren't a reflection of who you could be in the future. Never doubt yourself, never doubt your capabilities of what you can do as a student, because there are so many levels of intelligence and this is just one of them. So be sure that you're staying strong as a pre-interested nursing student. If there's any questions that you guys may have, you guys can message me here on my social medias. Be sure to follow me. I love talking to you guys. My name is Clarissa Victoria, and I would love for you to join the family here with me. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will be uploading a lot more content, so I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.